Okay, let's open the Pownal regular select board meeting at 7 p.m. on October 8th, 2020. One is the agenda approval. 2 is the approval of the minutes of 9/24. 3 is warrant. 4 is board liaison report. 5 is old business. Board approval to move $11,500 received for the sale of John Deere tractor and 2 school buses. The transfer station landfill recertification. And then 7 will be public comments. And then we have to have an executive session for legal related to the Green Mountain Racetrack, executive session for contractual for town website and security work. And we had to add 2 for executive session legal related to the town office project and executive session for legal contractual. So can I have a motion?
And you should finish the bottom 2 easy. We may be taking action in public session.
Oh yeah, that's right. The board may be taking it on public. The board may be taking action in the public session for executive, which will be done via Zoom conference. After the meeting, it will be muted during the executive session, and on when the board comes back into the public session. So
Make a motion to accept the agenda.
a second. Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
Angie, aye. All right, approval of the minutes of 9/24. Can I entertain a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
Angie, aye. Warrants? Payroll ending 9/27 for $7,984.99. Payroll ending 10/4 for $7,720.41. Accounts payable for $18,715.21. Food Zone, did I say that right? Paving and Company for paving Washington Brook, a part of that, a section of that for $9,890. Calcium for $4,352.61. John Ray and Sons for diesel fuel for $1,023.37. And then we have accounts payable for 10/9 ending 1,000-gallon diesel tank for $3,543.64. Innovative Municipal Pro, which is calcium, for $4,358.70. And then we have the transfer station landfill project for $27,098.45. And did I say the total of that? The total for that is $43,940.35. And then accounts payable ending 10/10 for the Pownal net metering, which is electricity, for $5,850.42. That's what I said, didn't I?
I thought you said 5.
Oh, it looks like a 5. Sorry, $3,850.48. I'm sorry, I need bifocals. I'm really sorry.
It's cheap.
It's cheaper. So can I entertain a motion, please?
Motion to approve warrants as read.
Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
Angie, aye. All right, board liaison report, Rebecca?
Okay, I'm going to try and go through this very quickly. Very quickly on the town hall, we have our architectural stamp and the final plans for the town hall project. The architect has sent all the needed updates to the various elements, the foundation plan, etc., with Gut Loan Associates and also Preferred Builders. Preferred Builders is they actually finished the redraw this afternoon of the plans. We have what looks like a solid commitment from our building mover and excavator for an April 1 start date, if possible. And they're also committed to holding their price. Preferred Builders has also offered to hold their price until next year if we provide a down payment. However, I am not prepared to ask for any action on that at the moment. I'd like to come back to the next meeting with very specific numbers for you. I wouldn't ask for action until we have that. So my goal is to have a solid plan and path forward like at the next meeting. The digitization grant, which addresses both the town clerk's office and the listers. Mark Kirk of COT Systems came yesterday and worked with Julie and with her temporary help for this purpose. And they actually returned a portion of their grant award to the town so that we could hire our own and pay our own temp help. So all of it's covered. And that training was done yesterday. The listers digitization grant, they're moving very smoothly. Wendy, a lister, is taking pictures of the records, and then that's provided to CTI for the coding updates. And I spoke with her this morning, and she anticipates having everything done by the deadline without an issue, which is November 1. The Elger grant just got a lot more exciting. We've been approved for all of our anticipated and asked for expenses for Elger, including the additional ones that I added after they extended the deadline. So here's what I've asked for. Already incurred expenses of a laptop, so for me, and then 2 cell phones, one for me and one that Linda purchased in March when she had to go home. The total for that is $2,304. That's ready to go and be reimbursed. Anticipated expenses, which include a shared laptop and cell phone for the listers, a cell phone and laptop for the treasurer, a laptop and cell phone for the town clerk, a laptop for the zoning administrator, and a video conferencing system, which is called the Zoom room, which we really need very desperately. And the total for that ask is $21,309, and that was approved. So total award for the new equipment, 100% covered by the grant, $23,613. So we just got a lot of resources from this. I just found out we can also add some additional items. I just haven't had the time to do the math. It's maybe a few $100s more, including the actual cell service for Linda since March, and the time for our IT person, Chuck, to set up the new laptops, and the cost of our Zoom subscription as well. Ellen today created an account line from which the purchases can be made and then tracked for reimbursement by the grant. And so the action I'm requesting for the board tonight is that you approve the purchases of the laptops, cell phones, and the video conferencing equipment. And as I said, it's all covered. It's all reimbursed by the grant. So it's just, but we have to buy it and then submit for reimbursement.
Excellent job, Rebecca. Excellent job.
Yeah.
I think motion to approve the additional laptop, cell phone, and video conferencing equipment for the prices and to be reimbursed by the grant as Rebecca read off.
Second.
Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Ronnie?
Aye.
Angie? Aye.
Okay, historical preservation grant. The final application was sent in Monday, and that is an ask of $16,300 towards replacement of the roof and exterior paint. The total project cost is $32,000. The town has a responsibility of 50%, and we are going to fundraise for this work. We've met Mike and Angie, and Linda and I have all met with the church a couple times regarding all of this. They have a harvest fair as a beginning towards fundraising, planned for October 25th. And as soon as they have some literature, I will put it everywhere. You already approved using some of the town picnic money towards supporting some like snacks for this. And so I'm gonna work with the church and decide how that's best spent. The Pownal regulators have volunteered to help with that as well. And I've been saying this to the church as well, that I really, I don't know that we will qualify for this grant, but I think if we don't get it this year, it gives us a year to really do some, for them to work on fundraising for the 50% match as well. So as you know from the beginning, the goal has always been that we're not paying a penny of taxpayer money towards it, that we fundraise that 50%. So that's that one. The
Rebecca,
Facebook group. Yeah.
I have a question, on the town picnic on the 25th.
Yeah.
Just real quick, is any other groups in town, such as the Pownal Citizens for Safer Roads or anybody else volunteered to help with that? With that fair on the 25th?
No,
Okay, I was just curious.
no, but I can reach out to whoever you'd like me to reach out to. Absolutely.
No, I was just curious. I mean, it's been, we've talked about it. And
It was actually one of the council members' ideas to reach out to the ATV club since they had just formed. And
Okay.
it was Cliff's idea, and he said, why don't we reach out to the ATVers? And so I did, and they're happy to come and help. And honestly, we really want this to be a community endeavor. So anyone who wants to help with fundraising to help preserve this beautiful historic church that is definitely an asset to our town. It was on the cover of Life magazine in 1950 something. I mean, it's an idyllic kind of well-known asset that we have. I would love anyone to come in and help with fundraising with this. We have a lot of ideas, and I need all hands on deck for this.
Rebecca, just a quick question. If somebody would just like to donate, where
Yeah.
would they send their donation to?
Okay, so I haven't set that up yet, so let me talk to our treasurer
Okay.
and talk about the best practice for doing that for municipal fundraising.
Okay.
Okay? And I think it's best that all that money is kept with the town and not with,
Absolutely.
the church can fundraise their portion, but any municipal fundraising that we do should go directly into a fund that is labeled for that purpose.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I figured out how to do Facebook Live. I'm not doing it tonight because Cat TV is here and all of that. But as you know, last night when we had quite the little snafu, I had at the last minute thought, let me put this on Facebook Live. So I know how to do it now. I did the Planning Commission this week on Facebook Live as well. So I'm going to be trying to live stream meetings on our Facebook page. Just especially the ones that we don't have Cat TV present for. And since I'm at the DRB and Planning Commission, I'm there already. So I'm going to start doing that. Planning Commission update. The Planning Commission has completed their draft of the bylaws, and the next step is to schedule a public hearing for public review and for comment. A copy of the draft bylaws are posted on the website. There's several hard copies in the town hall as well. I'm also happy to send a link to the PDF if anybody wants to not search for it on the website, then I could just send it out. I put it on the Facebook page as well. And we're aiming to have a public hearing likely in December or maybe even January. And that's because neighboring towns require a 30-day warning of the hearing. So we want to be sure everything's warned correctly, and we want to not rush that process. So we're going to meet at the end of October and set our hearing dates. So Pownal Parks and Rec, we met on Monday and we organized. I'm the chair in the spirit of the select board wanting me to have oversight and direct connection to you guys so that we're not a committee with our own powers at all. We're just talking and coming up with ideas. Everything comes to you. So I'm the chair. Jennifer is the vice chair and Peter Hopkins is the secretary. And we'll be warning all of the meetings and posting minutes just like other boards. And as we are a working group with no decision-making power or capabilities, I believe we can have discussion on public record email without a question of quorum, but I'm checking with the VLCT on that to be very cautious about, not breaking any quorum or open meeting laws. But all of our meetings are going to be open to the public with a public comment section. So we toured the Bible conference land and we discussed possibilities of that. Ray and Jennifer are reaching out to BATS just to see what is out there for pump tracks and funding. And we know that there's hunting that happens up there. So one idea that was tossed around is that anything that happens up there, it should be closed from October 1 to December 15. As a group, we set some priorities and we kind of came up with an idea of a quicker and more attainable little project that we could do. And again, the goal is to do this with no cost to the town. So, sorry, I need water. The idea, Peter Hopkins had the idea that we could apply for a small spark grant, and he's doing that. They're usually about $3,000 for the creation of a temporary skating rink on the tennis court this winter. And so I'm going to reach out to some entities to see if they might donate some space to store the rink materials in non-winter months. And we're also going to seek donations of materials, again, so this is not on the taxpayers, for the creation of the rink itself and building a couple fire pits, benches, and perhaps a porta potty if needed. But I reached out to the VLCT, Ronnie, because I know that you asked last meeting about liability and insurance costs for things like this. And so I spoke to the VLCT, and they did not think this would add, I spoke to their risk assessor, and they did not think this would add any cost to any passive insurance that we have, because it's already a park. So it's already covered entirely for any of these like typical park uses. However, just to double check everything, Wade Massier, who is the passive guy, he's going to come down. He's going to meet me here at the tennis courts, and he's going to look at the site, and we're going to talk about everything and just double check that there's no added liability costs or liability risk, et cetera, et cetera. So I did have a request that I would like, if the select board would consider us in their budgeting process for the next fiscal year, and might consider giving us a small expense line, like $100 or something like that, in case we need to buy some postage or paper, or if you could just say, I mean, I could always just come to you for small expenses like that as well, if we ever have. I don't anticipate really much of anything, but it was just a consideration for next year. Do you have any questions there, or I can move on to my last thing?
Oh, sounds really good.
I'd like to make sure that you do bring that to us when we start the budget season, which isn't too far off, Rebecca, so that we don't forget it.
Okay.
Because I think it's an important thing that we need to start.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I spoke with Catherine Byers of the BCRC, and she had actually contacted me wanting to speak about our trailer parks in Pownal and the potential of getting large grant amounts to help those that are particularly in the flood zones. So I gave her a little bit of history regarding the conversation regarding trailers in Pownal, and I had some suggestions for her. This is just a conversation, there's no action here. I suggested to her that she should not have her first conversation with people that have opinions about trailers, but she should actually have that first conversation with people that actually live in trailers and live in these communities. And I suggested that instead of treating these communities as things to be dealt with, that she instead reach out and find representatives from these communities that are willing to speak about what they perceive their needs, if any, are. I also really cautioned her not to see this as charity or helping the vulnerable, but rather finding opportunities to empower people within their own communities and to attempt to help meet their needs on their own terms. I also told her that I'd put my feelers out and see if there was anyone in any of these trailer parks that would be willing to speak with her and let her know their thoughts and ideas. And so I would like to use this opportunity to ask the community that if there's people that live in the trailer parks and would like to potentially talk to the BCRC about what you believe the needs are in your communities, to see if there might be funding dollars to address those from the state or from national grants as well, federal grants, that I can connect you with her and we can facilitate that conversation. And I want to reiterate that this is not for people with opinions about trailers. This is for people that live in them. And, we want to be incredibly respectful. So that's all of my stuff.
Good job, Rebecca.
Yeah, I really like that approach.
And good job on all the grants. So far, you what? 60?
Close to $60,000 potentially, and potentially up to $100,000 by the year's end.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, old business. the board needs to approve to move 11,500 received from the sale of the John Deere tractor and 2 school buses to the road equipment fund.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, aye. All right, transfer station landfill certification, everybody received that in your email from Julie. So we just need a motion to approve.
Move the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions? Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, aye. So now we are open to public comments, will be available. Remember to raise your hand, please, and you have 3 minutes to speak on a subject. Is there anybody out there? Please raise your hand.
There's only one person that's not Cat TV present, and they don't have their hand raised.
Okay. Then can I entertain a motion to?
I got one thing
Oh,
on the
sure.
public comments, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Right in front of me. Go ahead, Mike.
So, I'm not one for a prepared statement, but I did prepare this one. I prepared this statement tonight because I had these thoughts on my mind and wanted to be sure I said them clearly. First, I want to express that after that storm yesterday, we had a lot of downed trees, power outages, and damage. I want to thank everyone who came out to help with cleanup and to make sure your neighbors were safe and okay. This is the part of Pownal that really reminds me why I wanted to serve on this select board to begin with. When I see that part of Pownal come together, it upsets me even more when I see the constant arguing back and forth between Pownal citizens. We need to accept that good ideas come from both native Pownal residents and non-native residents. We are all neighbors. I am also consistently discouraged by the negativity towards fellow residents. As long as the petty backbiting and constant offense to small things is happening, we will never move forward as a town. Lastly, please stop manipulating facts so that they benefit you personally or to win an argument. A fact is a fact, period. They aren't always on your side, but they are always true. Judging each other or slandering them because you disagree is unfair and wrong, and in my opinion, has to stop.
Thank you. Yes, very well put. Thank you. This is from Ellen. She wanted me to read this. This is for the November tax payment information. Taxes are due November 10th. Due to COVID-19, hours for the November tax collection will be Monday, November 2nd to Friday, November 6th, noon to 5. Monday, November 9th to Tuesday, November 10th, noon to 5 p.m. Saturday, November 7th, 9 a.m. to noon. There will be no entry to the building. Persons are to come to the side door and knock. I will meet with the taxpayers at the door. Please wear a mask to protect yourself and the town office staff. Please do not come into the front office unless you have an appointment with the town clerk for other matters. Please bring check or money order as I will be unable to make change. Taxpayers may mail their payment or put in the locked drop box on the town office front door. Thank you, Ellen Strohmeyer, Treasurer. Anything else in public comment from anybody? Okay, may I entertain?
Make a motion to adjourn.
No,
No,
to go to an executive
Move
session
into executive session, sorry.
or legal.
Legal relative to the racetrack.
Mountain racetrack.
Second that motion.
Okay. Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, aye. So we're going into executive session. Can I entertain a motion, please?
I make a motion that we move forward with the contract with,
I thought we did.
No.
I
Sorry.
want you to come out of executive session.
A second.
so I thought we did too, sorry.
All right. Bob,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Angie, aye.
How come I get to be fourth that time?
I'm sorry. We're on the line.
Saw your lineup sometime.
Okay, so we need a motion
I'll make a motion that we move forward with websites and more maintenance agreements.
I'll second it.
Any
Oh, Did I
discussion?
just steal some?
It's all right, Bob. So we make you feel important.
No discussion? All right, Bob, Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, I.
That would be in third way better than fourth.
So we're signing
And
contract,
then you have to decide if you want to approve the security work.
right? So can we entertain a motion for the security work?
Go ahead, Bob. Take it all.
I'll make a motion that we approve the security work. We had a cost, what was the cost? 300?
It's 300.
At a cost of
that.
$300.
No more than.
At a cost of no more than $300.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, I. Okay, now I need a motion to go back into executive session for legal relative to the town office project.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie,
Aye.
Angie, I. We're gonna take no action on the town office. So now we need to go back into executive session for legal and contractual. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Bob,
Aye.
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Ronnie, Angie, I.
You get to-
We're back into regular meeting. We're gonna take no action on the last executive legal contractual. So,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
perfect. Do I have a second?
Second.
Bob,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Angie, I.